Hey, everybody, we're live. Welcome to Vaguely True, also known as Vaguely News with Rob Vega. Right after this, he'll be here.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
Well, here we go. It's the man that promises you nothing and delivers. It's the veritable man motor mouth. It's Road Woods who feels the need to call himself Rob Vega. It somehow makes him feel important. Anyway, do have a listen and try not to throw up.
I love that opening. Hey, how you doing?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, nothing's been going on. It's very quiet in the world.
Nothing.
Trump's just been doing his thing. It's fine.
What the hell? Anyway,
Yeah.
do you like my little thing at the bottom there? See?
I see that.
Live
I see
Greenland.
that. For now. Oh God. This could be too much fun.
Stephen, I have to say, over the years, you have been the naysayer. You have warned me about many things. I have been the rose-colored glasses, work visa immigrant guy that lived there for a while, that came over, that has booked about America, that probably knows far too much about the place.
Right.
A student, if you will, of the country, what it's about. Hang on, let me rephrase what it should be about.
Yeah.
And I've always pushed back, and I said, "No, come on, Stephen, come on." And you put forward the worst scenario, and I've mentioned, come on, the Constitution, checks and balances. And you know what? What turns out? You know what it turns out?
Tell me.
Well, I was wrong.
Well, that goes without saying.
I was wrong. I wish I could say I'm not surprised, but I am. And it's, wow. I don't know, Stephen. There's so much to. You know what it is? It's like we're looking at this big pile of poop, and you don't know which part to start with, because the whole thing is just one giant steaming pile of poop. And I made a resolution this year, and I'm still with it, because I think last Friday or the Friday before was Quitter's Day. You know that?
No, I don't quit, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's Quitter's Day. It's when people the resolutions go out the window and they go.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I made a resolution, and I'm sticking with it. And so far, the 19th, I'm sticking with it. And I said, what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to really make an effort to be positive.
Okay.
Always look on the bright side of life. Yeah, exactly. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
You're going to do all the Monty Python songs today, folks.
Right. So I thought, let's just do that, because people must be tired of all the.
No, they're not.
And they're not. It just
goes. Are you kidding? This is better than any television show ever.
Right. It is.
Yeah.
One of the things they say when you're writing television shows, I did some of these writing courses because I am trying to make my way through a novel, as in writing it. Which,
I thought you were trying to read one. So, but go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So I've had this thing for a while, and I thought, why don't we take some writing courses?
Sure.
And so I did them. Harlan Coben has got a great writing course. There's Lee Child, who wrote the Jack Reacher series. Brilliant, lovely. And they make all the points that you would imagine. In order to be a good writer, you have to be a reader. Blah 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 blah. Right. Keep the suspense going. But then I thought, let's have a look at the TV show writing courses. And there's a guy, I think his name's Judd Apatow, I think that's his name.
Oh yeah, he does everything. He's great.
Line of Duty and things like that. I think that's him. I think I'm right. That's him.
Sure.
Why not? And he made a point. I remember this. He said, one of the things you want to do is things have got to keep changing, not constantly, but there's got to be a lull and then a change and then a lull and a change. You've got to keep hooking people in. Ken Follett, the author, in his writing course said, you've got to every 2 or 3 pages, there's got to be a the path has got to change.
Right.
Otherwise, you get stuck in one spot, and it doesn't become engaging for the reader. He mentioned actually that Jane Austen, who was way ahead of her time. He was one of the first proponents of that. Keep things moving, keep the audience engaged, keep changing.
Well, Trump does that. He keeps us engaged and changing on a daily basis.
He does. I have to give, we want to be positive. I have to give credit as due. I pulled up one of these news things the other day, one of these silly app things, and he was the first. It was in the first 16 stories. Every single story had his name in the headline. Now, you can say what you like about the guy, but that is impressive. It is impressive. How do you? I challenge anybody to pull that off.
Let me just say this about what you just said about Donald Trump having the first 16 stories in his headline for our studio audience. Kudos to you, sir. Kudos to you. So, but here's the fun part. We invaded Venezuela. So now gasoline here in America is 25 cents a gallon like it was in the 70s. So we're very excited about it. It's a beauty. We got those mass Gestapo ICE guys running around shooting people because that's, because you got to keep things interesting. The good thing is because of the civil war that's coming, we won't have an election in 28. So hail to the king. Hail to the king. Now, the other good thing is I spoke to Donnie last night. I told him we're going to do the show. I go, Donnie, you know what's going to go? We're on a first name basis. So I said to him, what are you doing with Cuba? Because Daddy needs cigars. So we're invading Cuba, I think, in the next 60, 90 days. And I become the cigar czar. So the Cuban cigar.
Steve? Oh. Steve?
I'm right here.
You muted yourself. You were so excited you muted yourself.
I muted myself. I got so excited. Yes, this happens.
Did you say in 60 to 90 days Cuba? I'm going to put that in my. I need to make a note. You're going to Cuba, are you?
I'm being somewhat.
Are you running Cuba?
Are you going to run Cuba? Yes, I say I'm being somewhat facetious when I say it, but realistically, I know Colombia because there's drugs there. Who knew? And Cuba, I'm not sure why we're going to invade them. I think it's just because we have nothing to do this week, so it's one of those things. So I'm thinking by June, Cuba. Here's how I'm looking at Venezuela, 51st state, Colombia, 52nd, and Cuba, 53rd. Just it's a parlay.
Steve.
Yeah.
So Venezuela, all right, congratulations on the 25 cents a gallon. Whatever. Obviously Venezuela oil, good, that's fantastic.
Yes, from Trinidad and Tobago.
May I recommend for your next target?
Yeah.
I know they're kind of on good terms, but it doesn't really matter if you're on good terms with Trump anyway, because I've got your country and now I'm going to invade it.
Yeah.
Get onto that. But Argentina, and I say Argentina because
of the beef.
It's quite empty. Beautiful country.
Oh, it's nice.
Nazis
are there. Yeah.
Great and Stephen, beef. Lots of great
beef. You have beef. You have Nazis. This is, I'm thinking I'm going to write I'm going to write a musical called The Sound of Music, and the Hills Are Alive is what I think I'm going to do. And then after we do all this hemisphere, for shits and giggles, going to Greenland. I don't know if Donnie's been to Greenland because I think he's still under the impression that it's green and there's lots of trees. But hey, it is what it is.
I had something which you'll appreciate. I thought I've got to come up with something funny,
right?
Instead of moaning about stuff. So here it is. I said a mate of mine. I had a chat with a mate of mine, and I do have a few mates on your.
You have something. Sure.
I said I've got this friend of mine. He's he campaigned for Trump. This is true. He did. He's a big fan.
Right.
And I understand that. And I respect it. And he's a nice guy, believe it or not. He is. He's a great guy. Sure. I'm not joking. He really is. I'm not going to mention his name. David. No, I'm kidding. No. His name. It's not his name. It's not his name.
Clarence Thomas is his name. Go ahead. So.
Yeah. And I said, I had a chat with him over the weekend, and he said to me, listen, you guys have got it wrong. Trump is not going to Greenland for the resources and the Russia thing and the security thing. No. hang on. He's going there. Trump is going to Greenland. He wants Greenland. He needs to own it because he wants to build ICE detention centers.
And he's here till next week, folks. Tip the wait staff and try the veal.
Yeah.
That's great. I almost thought that was funny, but it's probably sad. It's sad but true. That's the problem. It's sad but true. Listen, some of the stuff he's doing, though, I give him kudos, and I'm not being sarcastic or trying to be funny. Thing with the thing with the credit card, he's trying to get the credit card rates down to 10%. The banks are having a heart attack. I'm like, kudos to you for that, because he's also trying to win the. He's trying to win the midterm elections, so he needs to get stuff done. This 50-year mortgage I find fascinating. I don't know if banks are going to go for it, but I truly think that's pretty cool. I'm glad, I can see what he's trying to do. Then the question I have is, are you doing it because you care? Or are you doing it because it's the midterms and you realize you're going to lose? The Dems are going to get in, probably try to impeach you and get rid of everybody in the Republican Party. So that's where I'm kind of like, I'm vacillating. Like, are you doing it for the good or are you doing it for yourself?
Stephen, you've forgotten what we discussed. It's just you're looking at this all wrong. Everyone is looking at this all wrong.
Yeah.
The guy is a showman, and there's a new artist, and there's a new. Let me say something. He gets people talking.
He does.
He does get. I've never seen so many people talking about so many things at the same time. It's extraordinary. But I'll tell you what they're not talking about. You know what they're not talking about?
What?
Those files.
Epstein files. Yeah. Well, we could talk about the Epstein files. We have pictures here we can show later.
Whatever.
Listen, here's that. You don't disparage the dead. That's what I say. Anyway, but here's the thing. Putting the Epstein thing aside, I'm sure they're all guilty. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Put it on your side. But
who's Epstein?
what Epstein who? But with Trump doing the Venezuela thing, and now he keeps talking about Greenland. And
Green
the best thing, Greenmark. That's what we say here in the private situation room. He's talking about Greenland. And I get a kick out of the king and queen of Denmark and the PM, and they're like, stop talking about it. I'm like, calm down. First of all, PS 137 in New York can come kick your whole ass and your whole army. Let's just be real. If we want Greenland, we're going to come take it. Number two, and they all say if we invade Greenland, which is just funny when you say it, because we're going to have to do it on Viking ships, and guys are going to have the hats with the horns. It's going to be a thing. And you have to have your last name is Sven. And that's the only way you can go. But if we invade Greenland, what's going to be the best part about this is they say NATO is going to fall apart. And I'm like, okay. So then I was speaking to an acquaintance of mine who's a conspiracy theorist, and he's part of the Illuminati Lizards People Club. So I take it for what it's worth. And he's like, listen, we're just dividing up the world. The U.S. is going to get here, Russia's going to get there, and China gets there. And I'm like, okay. And that's pretty much how it is now. I mean, we're just going to make it official. We're going to put a stamp on it. It goes, there you go. But we get Greenland just to make sure that Russia doesn't get out of line.
You know what's interesting?
Tell me.
This is looking at this a different way, because I like to look at what you raise. You raise an interesting point.
Right.
First of all, I just want to clarify something on a serious note.
Yes.
America already has Greenland. I mean, you know that, right? You do know.
Pretty much have a base. Yeah.
It's already, so that's quite interesting that it's like this. You have this girlfriend.
Right.
Things are going really well.
Yeah.
And at some point, and you've got a key.
Yeah.
You got all your booze in her fridge.
Oh. And you keep booze in the fridge? That's crazy.
Yeah. Toothbrush in the bathroom. You got your sneakers in there. You got your jackets in the cupboard. You are there. You are there. And then one morning, well, okay. I mean, let's not make this ugly. I mean, it's already ugly. So the one morning you get up and you go, you know what? You're the guy, obviously. You're not the girl.
Right.
No, that's another show.
It's a whole nother show we do. Yes.
and you say, I don't want to be here anymore. This is boring. This is not working for me. I'm not getting anything out of this apartment, this woman, whatever. I'm out of here. And you just leave. She has no idea. You do the text thing and you go, I left.
Yeah.
And she's going, what happened? What did you do? Why?
Yeah.
Why is he gone? And she can't figure out. I mean, she's giving you your space, but she can't figure out why you left, but it's your right.
Right.
Now, it's several years later, and she hasn't moved on. She hasn't moved on. No one else is in the apartment. There's no one else in the apartment. Your stuff is still there. That booze is starting to look like vinegar right now.
Sure.
Okay. Your jackets, Stephen, your jackets are still in the cupboard.
Your
cold. It's still in the washer. It's crazy.
Stuff's still in the washer? Oh, then it's all crusty. Then it's
your toothbrush is still in the bathroom in the whole thing.
In the room, sure.
It's like you never left except you're not there.
Yeah.
And at that point, she's sitting at home, I don't know, doom scrolling or whatever it is that people do these days. And she gets this text from you. And the text says, I'm coming to take over your whole apartment. I'm coming there. Everything. It's all mine. And she says, but your stuff is still here. You pretty much, this is your spot. In fact, there's still like some artwork of yours still on the wall. The place still smells of you.
Right.
So how were you under the impression you couldn't come back and do whatever that you want? And that for me is the whole thing with Greenland. Because I think to myself, they're friendly people. They never say no. And you just go, what part of, like he says, it's a security thing. And I go, okay, yeah. It's the Arctic thing. It's Russia. It's China. Sure. It's Timbuktu. It's Elon Musk, Martian invasion. I don't know, whatever it is. So that's all happened. Yeah.
Martian invasion.
Yeah. So there it is. And it's a valid thing. Greenland, whatever. So just go back.
Yeah.
Just go back. It's fine. You go back. You can build. You know what? Hey, Stephen.
Trump International. You can build a hotel.
You can build wait. You can build one of those ice hotels.
Huh? Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Except it doesn't have to be like with the summer. They don't have summer.
It just stays there. Yeah,
it stays there, right?
Yeah.
And wait, Stephen, you can paint it gold.
Oh, now
golden ice.
And golden ice. And here's the funny thing: Donnie watches this show. You know now they're in.
It's a good idea.
Before
there's more.
Wait, there's more. Donnie, there's more.
So what you can do is, I would say, if he's got any other ideas about ripping things down and rebuilding, okay. Just try it out in Greenland first. Put a wing up there and see how it looks. Go on vacation. Check out the Golden Ice Hotel.
Sure.
Savor the sights. Watch the Russian subs going by. I don't know.
It's like instead of whale watching, you watch Russian subs go by. This is a booty tourist. I'm calling Donnie after the show and going, Donnie, come on, we got to chop on this before somebody else comes up with the idea.
I'm just surprised, as the real estate genius that he is, that he hasn't thought of this. Why?
I think he has. Well, I think that's
maybe he has.
Yeah, I think after the invasion, that's what he's going to do. But like I said, when we spoke last night, it's like, Donnie, I need Cuban cigars here in America.
Yeah.
So it's like, can you get Cuba? Because Cuba, I figure, is like a flyby. Like, boom, we've invaded it. Great, boom. Cuban cigars come to America. Woohoo! Then go right to Greenland. It's on the way.
Cuba's tiny. Come on.
Yeah, it's like we invaded Venezuela. They have a whole army, and apparently we kicked their butt in about a minute. Yeah.
Greenland is practically a continent. I mean, it's Alaska and most of Texas. I mean, it's a piece of real estate.
And they got 6 people there. So
they got 6 people.
If they have 6 people there, you can, like I said, PS-137 will go kick their ass. They don't even need to send like the real army and navy. Little kids from New York City will go kick their butts. Then again, wait a minute. The kids in New York City today, they're kind of pussies. I'm talking the kids from like the 60s from New York City. Those kids would go kick their butts.
Hang on.
Yeah.
If you could get some nuclear energy going over Greenland.
Oh, yeah.
But hang on. What's the problem with Greenland right now? No, what's the problem? Why can't you It's too cold.
No, it's not cold.
No, hang on. No.
Mhm.
Not for you and I, but for most people, it's a bit cold.
Normal people. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you want to warm the place up.
Oh, you do.
Right? So warm it up. And now look what you got. Look what you've got. You've got two of the big, as I said, Alaska and Texas size. Put those two together. You've got that size real estate with beautiful views, lovely ocean, and now it's warmer. Can you the possibilities? Right?
That's
wait, there's more. There's more. That's option one. That's option one.
What's option two?
Or getting back to this ICE detention center.
Yeah.
How many million people did he want to get rid of? 1 million? Was it 1 million? 2 million?
5. There's 330 million in America. I think he wants to get rid of 300 million of them, but close enough. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, let's say it's 30 million. Let's say 10%. Is 30 million good for you? Is that all right?
Sure, why not? I'm flexible.
You put them onto Greenland, you won't even see them. There's so much real estate, they're gone.
Right.
Job done.
Now here, let me just
short flight over. You get them over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, now one of our fans, this is a fan from the Cigar Show, just wrote, and he has a question for you, Mr. Vega. He says, what excuse will Trump have to convince the public to invade Cuba? They don't have oil. That's a good question because Cuba gets their oil from Venezuela. So what's the excuse? Yeah.
Well, cigars, first of all.
Well, that's the only excuse.
That's good for you. Would you accept that? Cigars?
Oh yeah, all day long.
Yeah. It's not really my thing, but it's definitely your thing. So you're in the demographic of people that would get excited over the idea of Cuban cigar. I mean, am I wrong?
Cigars are right here, buddy. I've already talked to them.
Cigars, I like. It's already. I love it. Okay, and then of course, I mean, I don't know. Don't they have nice food and women and dancing? Aren't they known for that?
No. Have you been to Cuba?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay.
I got stuck in Greenland.
All right. Well, it's very nice. If you're into cigars, it's great. But the government does suppress the people, or as Mel Brooks would like to say, the peoples.
Suppress anyway. Come on.
Well, they're suppressing and suppressing. I mean, so at the end of the day, like invading Cuba, and we were very tongue-in-cheek about it, even on Habano Saturday, but because they've talked about it, because he's like, Cuba's next, Colombia's next. And I'm thinking, Colombia, I get it. There's drugs. You're going to go after them, whatever. I do what you got to do. But I'm like, Cuba, other than you want to have Cuban cigars in America, just lift the embargo and we can do that. But I don't get it. Well, actually, I think
you could do that, Steve.
I think the guys with the vowels behind their names who used to own all of Cuba are like, you're done. Looks like it's time for us to go back and take over.
I don't think your cost. What's the fancy one? Your cost to benefit ratio for Cuba. It's
not good. Yeah,
you're getting a really tiny piece of real estate with bugger all on it. Right. See, Greenland, Greenland. I mean, they don't even know what's under there.
Hey, the fan agrees with you. The fan says, "Make Greenland America." This one fan agrees with you. He says, "Make Greenland America." We are. Roll is giving him right now plans to invade, and we're telling them they're coming, and the king and queen of Denmark are calling, and I'm telling them I can't take the call because this is very important.
Yeah, no, this is really important. It's very serious. Maybe, I think, Stephen, maybe the confusion has arisen out of the fact that way back in the day, I don't know, I think they were trying to dissuade people from going to Iceland.
Correct.
It was Iceland and Greenland.
Right.
And they didn't want people to go to Iceland. They said, that's where you should go. So they called that Greenland, and they called Iceland, the good one, Iceland. Correct. So maybe people think, the people that don't read, and there seems to be a few of them,
a lot.
Maybe it's in the name, Stephen. Greenland. It's not really.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem.
I know I have the name, America Land. America Land. That's what we're going to change Greenland to. Since we have, instead of the Gulf of Mexico, we have the Gulf of America. The English channel is the George Washington channel. And I think now America Land.
Stephen, did you just call it the Gulf of America of Mexico? It's a Gulf of America.
It's a Gulf of Mexico. I'm sorry. It's been the Gulf of Mexico for a long time. I hate to tell you that. We're not changing. I'm not changing. Anyway,
it's the Gulf, mate. It's the Gulf of America. It's and on the west, it's not the Atlantic Ocean, it's the America Ocean. What is wrong with you?
I didn't get that memo. Okay, so
I
what do you call?
Yeah, I thought you were a true patriot, Stephen. I'm
a patriot. Okay, so America Land is what we're going to call Greenland now. So where are you going to go on holiday? America Land.
No,
Trump Land.
That's been done. Donald Land.
Donald Duck Land. I like it.
What's this
one? How about Disneyland? No, it's been taken. Never mind.
Okay.
So we'll come up with fans. If you have a name to call Greenland after we take it over, come up, help us out. So
I think so. I'd like to. Yeah. But seriously, I think it's. I understand it's an attractive piece of real estate, and as I say, we don't know what's under Greenland. We don't know what's there. There's so much
aliens.
So much history. It's like we were saying earlier. This is all plot twists, huh?
Yeah.
The suspense is there. I think you probably find Stephen Miller knows what's there. He knows because Stephen Miller,
aliens.
Stephen Miller. Oh. He's a bright fella. He knows what's there.
Yeah, I think I carried away. So he's just got a big head, and well, listen. I think it's fascinating that Donnie, and here's what's really weird. Back in I think the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and probably until the 70s, people spoke every day because they had to read a newspaper. And now because we have TikTok and we have Instagram, people don't think nor speak. So this, for people that have IQ points, is fascinating because it becomes the what if this, what if that, would they do this, what if that? But when you talk to people about it, it's very interesting because some people have no clue. Other people have a clue. You get people like us that have too much of a clue and opinion. And so I just think to me, it's sort of like really every day I wake up, it's like, what's going to happen on soap opera global universe today? And it's just like whatever I see in the Financial Times, I just chuckle. I'm like, yeah. And now Donnie's going to Davos. And I told him we'd have lunch when he's there because, we're tight. And so I said, he's going to go to Davos. And one of the reporters was like, but nobody likes him. Somebody on Bloomberg said this, but he's going to go because he needs to make himself, his presence known and be a speaker and blah, blah. I'm thinking, you're going there because you need everybody to suck up to you because you need to know no one wants to be invaded by the United States. And that's kind of like, it's like you have all these toys. Like we have a Navy, we have an Army, we have a Space Force. Oh, how exciting. We're going to go invade the moon. We have all this cool stuff and we don't get to use it. And they've increased the budget for defense spending to like $2 trillion. Yay. I don't know what we're paying for. Apparently we're going to have a war with ourselves. But so, you got all these toys. At some point, you got to use it. But remember, who we're invading? When Russia invaded the Ukraine, we didn't do anything. We gave them some missiles. What did we invade? We invaded Venezuela. If we invade Colombia, if we invade Cuba.
Stephen, they invaded Ukraine twice.
No, I'm aware. I'm not belittling. I'm just making this point. So we have not gone up against somebody that's very close to our equal. Like invading Venezuela or Cuba is like a college or an NFL team playing a bunch of like sixth graders. It's not going to whatever. It's not like an NFL team, if you will, playing a college team where you're going to really have to fight it out. So we haven't we're not going to invade China ever because then that wouldn't work well. We're not going to do anything with Russia because they have somewhat of a military. So if I know all we're doing is colonization, kind of like back when your people were running the world. And so we're just picking on these little countries where I don't see, which I guess is fine. And then I'm joking about Greenland, who's going to defend it? NATO's not going to do squat. They're terrified of us for whatever reason. And what does Denmark have? Like 4 guys with a bayonet from the 1930s where they can go, okay, we're going to defend 3 guys. I'm sorry. They have 3 guys. Who cares? That's what I'm saying. It's just this big game.
I think Stephen, we've said this time and time before. Jokes aside, I think what is we can laugh and dick around with it, but what I find amazing is, we've said, I lived there for a while. I still have my work visa that I renew, and I still, and you're going to shoot me down. I still believe in what America was and can be about, and it is beyond. It is beyond a territory. It's beyond a country. It's a concept. It's an idea. It's it's largely an immigrant nation, apart from the Sioux and the Cherokees and so on. So everyone that came there came from somewhere else. Yeah. So whatever people may think anti-immigrant, it is an immigrant nation, and that's what makes it strong. That those flavors, those different flavors, make it strong. And I know you think I'm a naive idiot, and that's probably true. My wife says it to me all the time. But I do believe, from my experience, I've been to 32 of the 50 states.
Okay.
I met a lot of people. I do like the country, and I do like the people. Yeah. And I'm not going to sit here and judge the entire country based on some guy's need for whatever acknowledgement. He wrote a letter. I don't know if this came out today. He wrote a letter. I thought our news department was dicking me around. I actually went and verified. He wrote a letter to the Norwegian Prime Minister or President, or I think that's Prime Minister, and he was reasonably upset. And he said, listen, the fact that you didn't give me the Nobel Peace Prize because I actually ended 8+ wars. Sure. So right now, my priority is not on your damn prize. I'm going to worry about what's good for the United States, which is fair. Not the first part, but the second part. Right. I do think. But I think what's crazy is if you read the letter, and you can go and see it, you can go and read it, and you look at this and you go, if my son had written that letter, I would have pulled him into my study and said, listen, what are you doing? Why are you not everybody's going to love you. It's just life, whatever. I have people that hate me. I have people that like you do too. It's whatever. And when you're the president, people have the right. It's the whole American thing. You can talk shit about the president. It is unique. It's peculiar to the United States. That's what's exciting about it. You can have people arguing and fighting, and we've discussed how the country was formed, the three branches of government, the way they designed it.
Well, there's only one now, but
no, that's the way the founding fathers said, no, we're going to have three, and they've all got to keep an eye on each other. It's because they didn't want. They came from tyranny. They didn't want kings and emperors and whatever. And they wanted everybody to have a shot at getting a slice of the cake. Yep. Right now, it seems like there's 10 people who have a shot at the slice, and everybody else can go screw themselves. But I still think, based on my experience of the country, I still think the folks that I've met, they may have voted for him, and I'm not joking. I've got my friend there who voted for him. But if I sit down and talk with him and I say, what is it about him? He didn't vote for this. He didn't vote for all this. He voted for smaller government. We've discussed this. What he wanted, and we've said this. The man, Donald, there are some things he does which work. They're good ideas, and whatever. And if you could just stick with that and stop with all the playground bullying, I think you could get back to the point where people could just get on with their lives, stop talking about this crap. If you want Greenland, go there, build 1,000 bases. No one cares. It's fine. Do it. Sort out the security thing. I think what is mystifying for people is why it's like people are arguing with them. It's like America's arguing with itself. And people go, what are they doing? What are they? We are their friends. We like them. We love them. We watch their programs. This is why we can do their accent and they can't do ours. We enjoy what they're about. We watch their movies. Hey, Hollywood, Tom Cruise. But jokes aside, the American influence is global. It's a fact. This is why, I've lived in several countries. I was born, obviously, in the UK. I grew up here, and I lived there where you are. But find me an American actor who can do this accent. Zero. But
Matt Damon. Matt Damon did that in his.
But here's the thing. But it's fine. That's okay. I don't expect him to. Why would he have watched television from here? And it's the same with the UK. A lot of British actors can do the accent. I say this to make a point. There is strong influence. Forget the military and forget the whatever. There is already American influence for now around the world. And here's the thing, Stephen. I know you're going to say I'm an idiot, but it's good. America's a big, powerful guy, and he's always been good. But right now, everyone's going, what the hell is that? And I don't think it's what the people are about. I think there's a group that have commandeered power in a position, and they're doing whatever they're doing. And I hope that they can pull him back in line. I don't think everything he does is bad, But this isn't bad. It's not good. It's just silly. It's unnecessary. And I think when I lived there, one of the things that people used to talk to me a lot about, sound like Trump, a lot of people you should talk to me about, but it was a lot of people, that always mentioned the healthcare thing. And they also spoke, the healthcare thing was a big deal. So look at that. Don't waste money on Greenland and troops and stuff, or a million ICE agents. First of all, the immigration system is very good. I went through it. It's a great immigration system. Just do what is already there. As an immigrant, I can tell you now, there's nothing wrong with it. It just has to be enforced properly. But no other gun. It's not necessary. The hoops and loops that I had to jump through were valid, and they were good. They needed to make sure that I wasn't some ass trying to get into the country that had zero skill. I mean, I have zero skill, but I managed to.
Right.
Yeah, okay. But it's a good system, Stephen. The thing is, it's a good system, and it is an amalgamation of a global cultural influence. And that's fine. It's good, and it needs to keep going. My worry is that America becomes this protectionist, isolationist nation like others, and it loses that. Huh?
We've started that. We've become an isolation country.
Yeah, but the thing is, my worry is what replaces it, because there's always a big boss. We humans like a boss. We like a strong man. We like a leader, and I worry about what's going to come in its place.
Panda's going to replace it.
Hang on. I wanted to just say, getting back to the folks there, I don't conflate the two. The American people I know, they're not like that. Yes, they are conservative. Yes, a lot of them voted for Trump, but I don't think they're in that orbit. And they know a little bit about Greenland. They know about the history of NATO. Right. And NATO, this crap that I hear where they say, oh, America's paying for NATO, that's not how NATO works.
Right.
And people who have a brain know that. You are responsible for your own defense, and another country is responsible for their own defense. And they need to spend, 2% plus, so that you know you can count on them. And there definitely are countries that haven't honored that. And on that score, I agree with him. I absolutely agree with him. What is the point of having a NATO ally who just goes, well, I'm not going to spend anything, and you guys can spend everything, and you can be big and strong and save me? I do get that. But there is more to it than that. There are nations around the world who do honor that, who are a part of it, and it needs to be enforced. If the NATO alliance goes, if this action happens, I don't know if it'll be the end of NATO, but it could be the beginning of the end. And
this fan says
it's a concern. It is a concern.
I think the fan's point here is cheers. He said the fan says Europe, unfortunately, has great disdain for America. Europe. I'm reading what the fan's writing right now. It says Europe has let me just finish the statement, and you can refute it if you want. He says Europe unfortunately has a great disdain for America. They do not see America acquiring Greenland would be a benefit to NATO. Possibly. The other comment he made, which I kind of disagree with, he says immigration from Europe is what made America great, not immigrants from third world countries. Technically, that's not really true, because without the Chinese, you'd have no railroads, and we can go through a list of what other people did. So I think what makes America great is the fact that it's a melting pot of everybody, and everybody contributes in some way. It doesn't just like not a whole bunch of white Europeans came over and did stuff. It's also African Americans. There are blacks that contributed. There's Hispanics that contributed. There's Asians that have contributed. No Puerto Ricans though, but everybody else contributed. I'm kidding. That's a Don Rickles joke. But I'm just saying. But I'm just saying. I think everybody contributed. It's just some contributed more, some contributed less, and history is a funny way of only writing what it wants. So I have a funny feeling what made America great is, like I said, America was a melting pot. People came from all over the world, every different color, every different this, every different that. And that's what, to your point, America the experiment made America the experiment work. Granted, we did play the land acquisition game and steal it from the people that were here ahead of us, but we don't want to discuss that because we gave them casinos. So it all worked out. They take our money now. So I think there's a lot to this. So yeah.
There is. And I just, well, first of all, I can't speak for the whole of Europe because I've got feet in Africa and Europe.
Right.
But I can tell you now, from what I know, no one has a disdain for America. that's a very blanket thing to say. I don't do, not at all. And I can see it in kids. I can see it in influence. It's not America. It's whatever's going on with that the political. Just to be clear, what is worrying is when you have a child like Stephen Miller going on national networks and saying that we're here because we're the biggest and the strongest. That is precisely what America was formed not to be. And I just want to grab like the most basic. I know this sounds very patronizing, but grab the most basic American history book and put it in his lap and say, "Why don't you read that and look at what it was actually about? Just read it, mate." Yeah. No one is disputing the power and the influence that the US has, which up until now has been a good thing. You want that. It's not a problem. You need someone you can count on. I don't think though that I certainly wouldn't tarnish the whole of the country with the same brush and say everyone is. There's so many different people. There's so many different cultures. There are 50 states, and as you and I have discussed, I mean, even the traffic laws from one state to the other are different. You might have a plate in the front in one state, and then you don't have a plate in front of the other. I mean, it's great. No, it's great. It's fantastic. And that's what I enjoy about it. So I don't think you can put everybody, and why would you want to, in the same political box, the same culture box? Not at all. So no one is saying that. But at the highest level, and this is also a lesson for not just Americans, but people around the world. If we don't want this kind of thing to happen, if we don't want to have these conversations where there clearly is unparalleled levels of ignorance displayed by people who really should know better, then we all have to be a little more involved with who we put in the office, who we elect. We got to show up. I've said to you before, I do enjoy the Australian model where people have to vote. Now, you can spoil a vote, but you have to engage. And the reason why you have to engage is so that if it isn't mandatory to vote, then what's the point? Then if nobody shows up, you have the situation where only the wackos and the whatever they are, the TikTokers are going to vote, and then you get what you get in the office, and that we don't want that. There's a phrase which says, what was it? I don't know if it's a religious thing or a spiritual thing or a Mark Twain thing, but to whom much has been given, much is expected, something like that. And as I think Chris Rock might have said, look, if you don't like the idea that America is it is the world policeman, whether you like it or not, it is. It's got the power, it's got the military, it's got the influence. If you're unhappy with America getting involved, or you don't want America getting involved in so many things, and you think that's a problem, then you should leave and get out of that society, because it is the number one economy, it is the number one society, and if you're a part of that, you have to, well, you don't have to do anything. I mean, you can laugh me off, but with that comes the ability and hopefully the desire to put some positive shit around the world. When I was there, I was on one of these chat shows, and everyone was moaning about how much foreign aid goes around the world. Right. And I thought to myself, if you remove that, if you remove all that foreign aid, then, and I understand why, then fair enough, stick it in your pocket, stop wasting money on people that don't like you, and then do what with it? Invade countries then. Then you become, then you like anybody else. So it's a confusing time. Sorry, I'm sitting on parts of my body that are going dead. So
at your age, that's what happens. But here's what's interesting. I read this many years ago because I know how to read and
know how to read.
I know, who knew? You know, Nancy Reagan, myth, reading is fundamental. They talked about world powers stay in power for like anywhere from 50 years to about 250, 300 years. And so we've been a world power now for what? Maybe we'll say 80, 90 years, right after World War II. So at some point, a new world power comes. So as much as America is American, it's wonderful and it's great and we're this great whatever, at some point, something will happen and there'll be another world power. Now, whether it's China, Russia, India, Brazil, anyway, but whether it's China or let's say, somebody's going to come along and be like, oh, it's our turn now. And then it's this revolving door. I think what people forget is China was a world power centuries ago. And if they didn't close their gates, if you will, in 1405 or 1409, they probably would have dominated, and it would be a whole different dialogue. So I think there's a lot, because history does repeat itself. It's just a cyclical cycle. Now, whether America stays a superpower for the next 10 days or 10,000 years, at some point, there'll be another shift in power for whatever the reason is. It's just the way the world works.
I hope you're wrong, because here's what's weird.
Yeah.
As my friend used to say to me, and my friend from Oklahoma used to say to me, he said, "You like an American with a foreign accent?" I said, "Oh, really? Well, I mean, I can change, no problem. Really, it's not a problem." Because that's what I do. I'm a voice actor, so it's okay. Accents are just accents. But I do, Stephen, I do slavishly adore and worship what the American thing can be. And it worries me that something else can replace it. I am probably a little naive about what it is. I'll tell you 2 quick stories. When I first came to the States in the mid-90s to visit an immigration attorney, when I started thinking about moving there, I was a child, and I worked in a radio station in Norman, Oklahoma for about 2-3 weeks.
Right.
And got together with an immigration attorney, and we chatted. It was a bit of a fact-finding flight. I started out in Florida, and I drove all the way through and went up to Oklahoma, through Baton Rouge, Louisiana, all the Panhandle of Florida. It was fantastic. I booked nothing. I just checked into hotels. It was great. And I thought, and the people I met were lovely. They worked for me. I can be a part of what the society is. But this is what happened to me on the second night. This is now 90, I'm going to say 96.
Okay.
It was a year after the Oklahoma City bombing. And I actually went to the site before they put the memorial up. It was pretty sobering stuff. Anywho, I digress. The one night, the chap, I was staying with this friend of mine. He was on the local radio station there. And he was doing something. I was doing something else. He said, "I'll meet you at the bar." And I drove around. I was just curious. I just wanted to, And at some point, I might have run a orange light or whatever it was, and this cop pulled me over. No problem. He wasn't aggressive. He was cool. He pulled me over. And so he came over on the driver's side. Well, he came over on the passenger side, first of all, and he looked in, and which was weird. It was just a bit strange. I saw him come to the car, and he went to the passenger side. This was about, I guess, about 12 at night, and it was just him. The more I think about it, it was a bit weird. But anyway, so he went to the passenger side, and he said, "Hello, sir, do you realize?" And then I spoke to him with this accent that I have, and he went, "Oh!" And his whole face just lit up. It was fantastic. He went, "Oh, where are you from?" And I said, "Well, I'm from several places, but right now I'm from South Africa." "Oh, I'm an English fellow living in South Africa." "Oh," and then the next thing he said, "Do you mind if I get in?" Well, what? So he got into the car and he sat next to me, and we must have chatted for 10 minutes about politics stuff, because at that time, South Africa had just had its first democratic election. This was about 2 years after the fall of apartheid. And he had some interest. He was, was a reading kind of guy. And we chatted and we connected. Okay. Story one. I'll explain to you why that story is weird, even more weird than you think it is. Spool along to 2014. I'm in New York City on the Upper West Side. We've got those benches, those little places you can sit, and you can look at the Hudson and whatever. And I'm sitting with a friend of mine, and for reference, he's about, I don't even know what his real name is. We just used to call him OP, like operator. He's an African-American guy. He must be, I don't know, 6'6", 6'7", long, not a big guy, but just really tall. Anywho, not a sportsman, an artist, a sound engineer. I went into the city. I sat there, and a friend of mine said, "Don't see him because he's got a setup at home so you can record what you need to send back to South Africa," because they wanted something. Anyway, so I was in the city, and I thought, what do? I went and met him, and we got talking. We were sitting. He said, "Come, let's take a walk." And we went and grabbed coffee, and we were chatting politics, life, the universe, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And after about 10 minutes, so I was sitting closest to the edge of the bench, and he was sitting on my left side. And a cop came and stood next to me, and he said, and I quote, "Sir, can I see some identification?" So I figured, I'm the immigrant, I'm the guy, he must know me. So I reached into my pocket, and I said, do you want something from me? So he knew I wasn't local. He knew I wasn't from there. And he went, "No, sir, you." And he pointed to my friend OP, who is a New Yorker, who happens to have a slightly dark
tan. Yeah.
And I got a little bit like, what are you doing? I was a bit, whatever. And he just put his hand on my arm and he said, "Don't worry, man, I got this. Don't worry about it." Went,
"Oh, wow, that's really funny."
And I looked at him and I looked at the cop and looked at him and went, I looked at him, "Sir, I'm going to need you to just put your hand down." So, okay, shit, all right. Mm-hmm. And he gave him his ID, and that was the end of that. "Okay, have a nice day." And he walked off. So what's the point of those two stories? The first story is, and I told that to many friends of mine then, they said, "Well, you can thank your lucky stars that this is what you look like." Because if a cop caught you at night doing that, he certainly would have gotten into the car with you and had to talk about kids and, I don't know, tailgating and whatever the hell. All right, number one. Number two, the second story, well, it kind of speaks for itself. What is disappointing for me is that if I have to be honest, I'm reminded of that. I don't remember. I came from I was in a country that had just gotten rid of all of that crap.
Right.
This color crap thing. Of course I see color. People say I'm not color. I don't see color. Why? What is wrong with color? Color's fine.
Right.
We have Italians, Germans, black, white. It's great. Color's fantastic. Brilliant. I don't want everybody to be white. How boring. I don't care. It doesn't matter. What's in your head, your actions, your abilities, your whatever, your empathy, and that isn't peculiar to any color, race, creed, whatever, doctrine, you name it. So that was disappointing for me. The reason I reference it is I sometimes think, Stephen, and I'll ask you, as a naive worshiper of the American dream, maybe I saw something there which is perhaps more, I don't know, is America, is that what it's about? I mean, is it still hell bent on those boxes and colors and people? And maybe that's, I don't know, I hope those are isolated things. That's all I'm saying. That was only that's two stories out of millions. So I don't think, but I think it happened.
Yeah, I think it's where you are. I think it's how you're raised. And I think it has to do with a lot of factors. I think the guy you ran into Oklahoma was just fascinating because he's probably never been out of Oklahoma. So for him, this was like, oh my God, this is great. Okay. New York City, I get it. You know, you're a police officer, and whether you're a white officer, an Asian officer, or a black officer, or any other color under the rainbow or whatever, you see so much, if you will, crime and scum. And unfortunately, it's a specific X. So in your mind, right away, when you see that, you're like, oh, he's up to no good. So it's after a while, that's what you see, which is terrible because,
my guy that was sitting.
Yeah, he was dressed. He told me.
Beautifully dressed. He was ready for the ball. Or he looked immaculate. I, on the other hand, hadn't slept for days. I was all I was basically a hobo. He probably
thought he's either and I'm not, I don't know what's in the officer's mind, but he was probably looking at this guy and you probably thinking either this guy was a pimp or a drug dealer because he was that well dressed, which is kind of stupid and funny. In fact, I'll tell you something. Yesterday, we're sitting at this restaurant where we're allowed to smoke cigars outside. And all we were doing, because, we're 5 years old, is commenting on how people were dressed. And the best dressed every few minutes would pass by were people of color. They were dressed to the nines. And all the white people, flip-flops, shorts, shirt. And we're like, you got to be kidding. And everybody like it was a fashion show. There was just one lady, hat, shoot, spectacular. So it's just one of those things. Everybody is just different. And all of us are from all around the world sitting there, and we're just like, we're loving it. It's like a fashion show for us. And then we make fun of the people that look like they got out of the trailer park. But it's just that's how America is. I go back to what I originally said. It's just a melting pot. Everybody is somebody. Everybody does whatever they do. And as long as you follow the process of coming here A through Z, cool. If you sneak in, listen, you have a baby, whatever Biden or Bush or whoever wanted to have your baby say, wonderful. As long as you're not breaking any laws and you're contributing, that's what, if you think about it, when America was first, if you invaded, whoever came over was the Chinese or Columbus, which he didn't really make it here, or whoever, the Vikings first came here, and you had the Indians, right? Or the indigenous people, whatever you want to call them, whatever your fancy is. In theory, this was their land. This is theirs. We came in, we kind of invaded it. They didn't have little offices of immigration go, you're coming from, you're a Viking, you're coming from where? Greenland? That's very nice. You're coming from we didn't do that, right? You came and you did. Now I get it. As we grew, we had the Ellis Island, we did, you got to track people. But at some point, and I've said this before, there's 8 billion of us on the planet. We all just have to get along. Because at some point, 8 billion people, and we'll say 7 billion of them are going to want to take a picnic because they're going to get fed up. So all this ridiculous BS that we keep doing and fighting over dumb things, and we complain about this and complain about that, isn't really going to matter when 7 billion people decide they want to take a picnic.
So all right, Stephen, I just want to ask you one quick thing.
Yeah.
I sort of know the answer, but I just want to raise it for the purpose of whatever. The thing that I guess it confuses me is this, whatever's going on politically there, where I'm trying to figure out, where does this rage, where does this anger, where does this come from? Why is there a chunk of people who feel somehow that that the world has screwed the country so badly, and by extension them, when honestly, even on social media, or if you want to get on a plane, make the effort, you can actually realize that poverty is really
global.
Well, but what people, I mean, I went into so-called poverty areas in the US just because I was interested to see what people thought was poor and it was rough.
Yeah.
Some rough things, but America's in good shape, Stephen.
I'm aware.
What people think is bad is honestly bordering on luxurious for some parts of the world, and that's fine. I mean, not everybody has talent, not everybody can make it, not everybody cracks some good luck. But what I'm trying to understand is, if anybody had a beef with life and how badly they've been treated, if I had to pick a country or a region on planet Earth right now, a group of people who have been hard done by, who are badly off, who are never going to achieve their dreams, mate, it wouldn't be the US. In fact, I wouldn't even think of it. Now, I'm not saying people don't hit. I'm not saying everybody not everybody makes it, and most probably don't. In terms of who's got the worst story, I'm sorry, Stephen, America doesn't even come close.
Oh, no, I get that.
Where does this anger come from, or this need to annex, to grab, to tell everybody how strong we are? What is that? Where is this coming from? Why?
Because you have to have someone to pick on. So America's having whatever problems it has, can't be America's fault. To your point, America's too great. We can't have this problem. So who do we pick on? And I'm just going to use the rhetoric of the day. We have to pick on it's the immigrants. Oh, okay. It's the immigrants' fault that we have whatever the issue is. Okay, cool. That's the problem. No. Now it's China's fault. Tariffs this. So we had a show about a month and a half ago where we talked about tariffs. And there was a comment in the comment section that said, this guy, meaning me, doesn't know anything about finance or economics or tariffs. So I'm thinking, whatever you say. Because my comment was, and it was just at the 100,000-foot level, that, when a tariff comes in, it's great that, the government gets whatever, blah, 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 pays the deficit. But really, Walmart's passing the extra cost on to me. So it affects the consumer. And now that they realize it, it becomes a different thing. So you have to have an enemy, because if I'm running for president in 28 and I go, everything's great in America, people, we can't vote for this guy. Everything's great. Go ahead. Down the hall to the left. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be, he's going for the dog. He's going for the dog. There's the dog. There's the both dogs. He's running for the dogs. He's for the people on the podcast as we wait. So anyway, what I was going to say is while we wait for all. So if you're running for president, you have to have something to have the people complain about. You have to have something where people are that's the most exercise I think I've ever seen you get. Anyway, what I was saying is if you're going to run for president of the United States, you have to, number one in your book, buddy. I get it. So what I was saying, if you're going to run for president, you can't say everything is great because who's going to elect you? What are you going to do? Everything's great. I don't need to do anything. Like there's no unemployment. Everybody's working. Everybody's happy. We don't have any problems. Well, why am I electing you? So I come to be president and say, hey, everything sucks. It's not our fault. It's all these other people's fault. Oh, now you get all these people who, small percentage that buy it, and then it just escalates to where it is today.
Okay.
That's how I look at it. Yeah. And there's a gentleman who's making another comment. So the problem with unfiltered immigration is when you have people who refuse to assimilate to the American values, leading to a loss of values that makes America great. I have a kind of an issue with that, but I understand it.
I want to respond to that.
I know you will.
This will surprise you. I agree with that.
Okay.
I absolutely agree with that. If you're going to go to, and I have no problem with that. Right. If you're going to go to, let's say, wherever you go, whatever country you are aiming to go to. So let's say you go to the US. Well, first of all, do your homework. Figure out they speak English.
Right. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Start with that. So you're going to need to speak English. And you need to understand what America's about. I don't know, do a little bit of research, sport, weather, people, culture, read a book, find out about the history, and just realize the more you travel around America, although the states are all different, there is a common thread of how things work, what's important. Don't be killing people. Don't be stealing people. I like rules and you do that.
Yeah.
And be prepared to work. Otherwise, why are you going there? What are you doing? What is the point? If you're going to a club, learn to be like the club members. You can still be yourself. Or if you're not happy with that, then don't go. So if you like it so much and it's something you feel you want to be a part of and you think it's going to work for you and satisfy your life goals, then I agree. Then you need to, you don't have to be, this is what I would say, you don't have to, like when I went there, Stephen, I still might end up back there. I don't know. But I understand I wasn't born there. I didn't grow up there. So you could say I'm not American. But in terms of the values, rhetoric and bullshit aside, I absolutely ascribe to the values. There are things that you respect, things that you obey, you do things. This is the way it is, the law of the land. If that doesn't work for you, then I agree. You shouldn't.
Then get the fuck out. Yeah, I get that.
Or this is the thing that I find really, I'm going to go further and say, by all means, go there and remember your culture. And if you have an Italian or whatever, sure, bring the food and all that. But mate, and I did this when I lived there, if there's a flagpole outside, you put up an American flag.
That's correct.
That's how I feel. You put up an American flag. Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. I'm grateful to be here. Thanks for the opportunity. And what a great flag. And I actually did that when I was there, not to be patronizing, but to say, thank you very much. I appreciate that. There you go. I'm not saying I'm now suddenly American. That's what I'm not what I'm saying. But this is the club that I have signed on to be a part of. And I agree with how it works. Otherwise, don't go. And the thing that I think must be annoying to people is when folks come along, and I'm really going to stir up the pot here, and they literally take everything of where they were and they come and dump it right in America and expect people to be that. And they're not. They're not from that. They're not from that. They speak English. They go to church or whatever. They go to Walmart or whatever it is. That's what they do. In other words, be yourself, but don't come and try to change what we are. I absolutely agree with that. Then stay where you are. Then don't come. I have no problem with that. That's assimilate because the word I think I would have used a different word than assimilate, but I agree with what you're saying. My biggest problem I have, not with what he said, but in general,
is I get into an Uber and I have to say English or Espanol. Like, you're in America. And so I have to use like a translation to talk to my driver to tell him how to get to where I'm going. That's where I have a problem from. I like in New York City back in the day, I don't care what country you came from, they knew enough English to get me from A to Z. Now everyone's like, oh, I'm proud to be from, I'm glad you're from your country. But there's 330 million people in America. And let's just assume 90% of us all speak English and some speak a second or a third or a fourth language. If I go live in China, I better learn Mandarin. Even though they speak English, I need to learn Mandarin. If I go live in France, I better learn some French. So wherever I go, if I go move to the United Kingdom, I have to learn a whole new English. But my point is, I have to learn the language. So when you get these people, and I'll say to them, in translation, how long have you been here? 5 years. I'm thinking, you don't know English? Like, what the fuck? So I do agree. I don't know if I would use the word assimilate, because I do like that people bring their cultures with them, their food, their traditions. But you need to learn our language. You need to learn our customs. Because if I go live in your country, and I've lived in other countries, when they celebrate something, Trinidad and Tobago, when the national anthem comes on, you stop no matter where you are in that country and you stand up. And so you have to learn the traditions of the country that you're living in.
No, well, I'll give you a personal example. When we were there, my kids were in school there. My son was in the middle school and my daughter was in high school. And every morning you begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah. And I had some folks say to me, oh, but that's this and that. And I go, listen, they're in an American classroom. That is the way it works. Right. And they're absolutely going to do that. I want them to be a part of it. I don't want them to be the idiot standing there, oh, this is not for me. Then don't go to class. Don't come to the country. No one said you had to be there. No one said you have to be there. But if you choose to be there, then you respect what people are doing. Don't make it weird. Don't. If I have to get in a cab, like you said, and I have to start speaking Russian or something, I'm sorry, that's bullshit. In New York City, rubbish, nonsense. And because what you're then doing is you're messing with people where they live, where they're from, what they're about. You're not going to their country and speaking your language. You come here, you speak this language, you embrace it. Otherwise, you can't. I have zero problem with that. And I mean, one of the things that I've, just to your point, later on this year, I'm hopefully going to go and spend some time in France. And the only reason I'm only going now is I'm not at a point where I think I can get by with the language. Is that necessary? No, I'm not planning to live in France, but you get so much more out of a country if you can learn the language, understand what the people are saying. And if you're going to move to the US, then, mate, you got to learn English. You've got to. In fact, before you get there, hello, this is what I do. It's good for you. It's good for you. It's going to make you feel more comfortable. Otherwise, don't go. Yeah. And I'm sorry if you've been there 10 years and you can't speak English and what are you doing? I agree with that, because it's not the language. It means that you don't respect where you are. Why have you brought that? This is what the country is about. And you need to learn to spell. We don't use, it's color. COLOR. Yeah, but do you know that my it was quite funny. My daughter wrote an essay in high school when she was there, and she wrote COLOUR. She wrote color. Right. And the teacher actually called her out in it. He said, but don't worry, I'm Canadian, so it's fine.
I love it. That's great. I love it. That's great.
I do think it is a melting pot, but there is a pot, and it's an English pot. It's an American pot. And so, I think also this extends to the thing that's going on in London right now, my home city, where there seems to be quite a push in some communities to bring in all kinds of cultural things, which is fine. But when it dominates the neighborhood,
that's different. Yeah,
that's different. There is so in other words, you have federal law, you have American law that dominates everything. Right. So what you're not going to want to do is start slaughtering cows on your front lawn. It'll work. Right. Why? Because that's not the way things work in the US. So don't do that. And understand you're going to get pushback from it. It all gets back to that thing where you do a bit of research, find out what you're going to. I mean, if you're going to go to a country, you've got to get on with the people right?
Yeah, that's true.
Stand them, like their
Yeah.
culture. Why are you going? If you don't like their food, their language, their laws, their religion, their president, what are you going for? There must be something. Can't just be about me, surely.
They're just going for the chicks because the chicks are free. I heard that in a song. So that's the reason you go. But no, I think it's very interesting as we go into this year where we as America, the country, and also what the globe's going to do between what our next invasion is going to be and the lizard people coming and what's going to happen just in general. I mean, it's fascinating to me. Like I said, I wake up every day. It's like I'm excited like a kid. I can't wait to see what's in the Financial Times because it's just like, this can't be real. That's how I look. I just read it. It just can't be real. It's that bad.
I think you're going to be fine, Stephen. I think, as I've said to you time and time again, the way the system is designed, it can reboot itself every 4 years.
Hopefully.
So if people don't like it, here's the thing. I'll say this to anybody. If you don't like it, then do something. Do something about it. Don't. I mean, the weird thing is I look at Trump from the point of view of I see the good and the bad. I'm not going to sit here and throw darts at him for no reason. Hey, he's got some silly ideas. I've got silly ideas. But there are some things that work, some things that don't. But the fact is, Stephen, 70-odd million people voted for him. So, shit. It's all about that. Accept what people, that's what they wanted. Is it what you want? No, but you're not living there. So if you are living there and you don't like it, okay, then get involved and do something about it.
Yeah, just leave. Better to leave. Leave. Just leave. Go to Canada. It's better in Canada. Go to Canada.
It's colder.
The nice thing is after we're done with, we already got Venezuela, we get Colombia, we get Cuba, we're going to get Greenland. You know what's next, baby? Going to have to get Canada. So it's all going to be American. And one of the comments earlier was, it says live from Greenland for you for now. And the person said, but soon that role will be an American citizen.
That's fine for me. That's why I'm here.
That was great. I thought that was awesome.
That takes care of a lot of paperwork. I'm cool with that. You see,
there you go.
I can see the negatives, but I also think a lot of this is blunder and bluster. And I can see why people are. I can see the reason for the shouting, but I can also go, can we stop shouting now? On. No one hates you. It's just silly. You want Greenland, just go and build a base there. It's fine. No one cares. I just think, and of course the big question for me is, okay, let's say, look, I don't think there'll be an invasion or war or anything, but let's just say somehow they said, listen, we'll give you $500 trillion. Elon Musk is going to pay for it, and we will have Greenland. And the Danes and the Greenlanders go, well, shit, that's a lot of money. Okay.
They'll take it.
And they take it. All right. The problem is, where's that money coming from? It's going to be an obscene amount of money. And who's going to pay for it, Stephen?
Yeah. Well, Elon and I will pay for it. That's how it works.
So this isn't necessarily about, and quite frankly, that wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing. But what are you going to do with a big chunk of ice that's that big, and then who's going to pay for it? And I don't know. It's just it's uncomplicated. And there's no need for it. You don't go build a base. Do it. Shit.
I listen. We're going to buy Greenland. Huh?
I gotta go.
Oh, he's got to go, everybody. Wait, then this is the show. Don't forget to subscribe and like. The big guy's leaving. Thanks for joining us here on Vaguely News with Rob Vega. We will be back next month, I think. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Catch the other shows. We'll rebroadcast this later. Thanks for all your comments. Sorry we couldn't get to all of them. And we'll see everybody later. Cheers, everybody.
Thank you so much for listening to this Old Woods Rob Vega, whatever the hell he wants to call himself, fellow. You know, this podcast thing, it makes him feel very important, and he's a difficult fellow as it is to deal with. So thank you so much for putting up with him, and do take